Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about all the Nintendo news plus Microsoft news. We'll cut to that when we get to that, but mostly Nintendo news that has been happening as of me recording this video this past night. Like literally at midnight, Nintendo dropped a whole bunch of information. First with the financial report, which we'll be talking about a little bit later, and then a tweet that got everyone crazy, including myself. So we're going to be talking all about that. Now, I said I would be doing the Q&A video for 1,000 subscribers like very soon, like today. And I haven't even recorded that because I've been asleep for like 12 hours now. So yeah, but after this video is done and uploaded, I'm going to work on that video, I promise. So by the time you see this video, the Q&A video will be out tomorrow, if that makes sense, you know. But for now, we're going to be talking about all the Nintendo plus Microsoft news that's been going on today, because there's a lot, and I was just thinking about doing it as a YouTube short, but then I realized, okay, there's too much information for me to just cover in like a minute. So yeah, let's get right into it, shall we? So the first thing we should talk about is the heavy hitter that the president of Nintendo, Furukawa, or however you say his name, dropped on there like at 12 a.m., 1 a.m. For me. And that is, he tweeted out that, well, first of all, he tweeted out that this is Furukawa, president of Nintendo, which is always funny to me, like when Nintendo, like whoever at Nintendo talks on like Twitter, they always say this is blank. Like Miyamoto says this a lot, but now Furukawa, like why do they do that? It's like they're walking into a room and they're like announcing themselves to everyone. I mean, they are important people, but still. But anyway, he said this is Furukawa, and he talked about how the Nintendo Switch successor is going to be announced within this financial year, which will be ending on March 2025, and that there will also be a June Nintendo Direct that will cover the latter half of the Switch's lineup for this year, and the Switch successor won't be in it at all. And it was basically just confirmation of stuff that has been rumored forever. I'm sure some rumors are fake, but there's so many rumors out there. I think there have to be true to some extent, even though I hate to admit rumors are true. But I think just because there were so many, I think Nintendo wanted to put it out there. Plus, with the financial thing at the same time, in fact, this went out a little bit after the financial report, and even Nintendo got more calls from their investors about like, what do you mean by successor? And we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, they just wanted to get it out there ahead of time that yes, the Switch successor, Switch 2, whatever you want to call it, is a real thing. It is happening, but they didn't give us much more than what we already needed. But it's just nice to have the confirmation, you know. I hated the rumors, you know. I didn't cover that many rumors on the channel, and that's because I don't like to believe in them unless it's coming straight out from Nintendo's mouth, and this one is out of Nintendo's mouth. It's from their official Twitter account. So it's just nice to have something, even though we barely know much more than we did before, you know. But it's just nice to have confirmation. And because they tweeted this out after the financial report, investors called them saying like, what do you mean by Switch successor? And the president of Nintendo, Furukawa, actually clarified what he meant. They asked him if he meant like if it was basically like an iterative idea instead of an innovative idea, you know, like if it's, you know, another upgraded Switch. And Furukawa said, yes, think of it like that. So I think it's safe to say that this is a Switch 2 type situation. Now, will it be called Switch 2? Probably not. I'm thinking Super Switch, maybe Switch Advance. I don't know what they will call it, but I think it will be called something like that and not Switch 2. But yeah, that's it's crazy that Nintendo announced this, and even also the June Direct. Like, it's just nice to have confirmation because you keep hearing these rumors, even though we knew there was probably a June Direct coming, you keep hearing these rumors of maybe there's gonna be a Direct in May and July instead, or whatever. And they will probably start up after the Direct airs, the June one. They'll probably say, oh, maybe there's another Direct coming in July, I don't know. But it's just nice to have confirmation, which is weird from Nintendo. They usually don't like to offer confirmation even this far ahead of time. It's not much, don't get me wrong. It's barely anything, but it is something. And coming from Nintendo, where they're very secretive and they flat out say something and then they say, oh no, we meant that in a completely different way, and then they actually Uno reverse us again, saying that no, we were right the first time, we just lied to you. But it's just nice to have the confirmation this time. So yeah, I'm excited. When will we hear about the Switch 2 announcement thing? I'm thinking around when the Switch 1 was released and announced, so it will be coming out March of 2025, but it will be revealed in like October time, and then like the presentation will be in January. But I could see myself actually coming out, like the announcement coming out in like, I don't know why, I am envisioning it as like a July, August thing, It could totally happen there, and then it could come out still this year, or even very, very early next year, the Switch 2, like in January or whatever. But I think the most likely scenario is just the fact that it's going to repeat the Switch 1 success, how that lineup. But, I could be wrong. I see a world where we do see it announced in like July, but, that's just my opinion. We'll see though. But yeah, exciting stuff. Don't know what day, the June Direct is happening. Probably when we get closer to that announcement, I'll make a predictions video. But I'm expecting more remakes, remasters, probably with some newer titles thrown in there. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Metroid Prime 4 finally. That's like one of the last big Switch games. So yeah, I'm excited. But now let's talk about the financial report. So in the financial report from Nintendo, it has been confirmed they sold 141 million units of the Switch, which I think is only like a 2 million increase from the last financial report, which is a little disappointing, but it was only a few months ago, so whatever. But they have a forecast for how many Switch units they're planning to sell within the next financial year, again until March 2025, and they're planning to sell 13 million. And if they sell 13 million, then that will surpass the DS sales numbers, and that would basically match the PS2's numbers, maybe a little bit behind that. And of course, with these predictions, Nintendo could lower or even raise the sales numbers, depending on stuff that happens, including the Switch 2 announcement. But I totally do see the Switch 2 not killing off the Switch immediately, and I think the Switch 1 would sell just enough to pass the PS2, in my humble opinion. I think it's very, very likely even, because look, many people are not going to be buying a Switch 2 like when it releases, they're going to be waiting out for either more games or until they could afford it or whatever. There's not a lot of people that are gonna buy it like immediately, and Nintendo will probably keep supporting the Switch 1 for at least a little bit, with like cross-gen titles. Maybe they could also boost the Switch 1 sales by doing a price cut. Like, where's the price cut, Nintendo? They have that trick up their sleeve, if they want to get a big boost of sales. But I could totally see that. So I think we will see the Switch 1 surpass the PS2. It might not be by the end of the physical year, March 2025. But I could totally see it happening, even if it will be slower down because of the Switch 2's announcement and reveal and release date. I could totally see the Switch 1 eventually surpassing the PS2. But yeah. We also got news of some more games that sold pretty well, like Princess Peach Soul Time and Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Those sold 1 million already in like 10 days, which is crazy because not a lot of people were excited about those games, but they are Mario games, and also the Mario movie Fever. It makes sense for them to sell Speaking of Mario, you know, sales are up for other Mario games like Mario Wonder, you know, Mario Kart 8, of course, that's always high up. And then Nintendo's profits as a whole has actually been better than like since when they first started making video games, like 1980 something, from like 2016. Their profits are like higher up than those years combined, which is crazy to think about because we just passed the Wii U, which was one of the lowest points for Nintendo financially, even though it was one of the highest points for my life, in my opinion. But for financially for Nintendo, it was one of the lowest points. So it's just nice to see them succeeding, and this is due to many reasons. Obviously, the Switch being a huge success, doing better than the Wii, even though the Wii felt like a phenomenon. The Switch is just has better momentum, and it is a phenomenon, but it also just has good stuff in it, and it didn't die out like the Wii did within the last few years of that. We also got the, you know, the movies that Nintendo has coming out with the Mario movie, and now there's a Zelda movie and another Mario movie coming up soon. That did really well for them, and also the theme parks, those are really doing well for them. So yeah, Nintendo's in a good place financially, and I'm really happy for them. Oh, I'm happy for the billion-dollar company, you know. But it's just nice to see, you know, because I do like me Nintendo. But I think that's it for the Nintendo-related news. Mostly exciting stuff. I am happy to hear about officially the Switch 2 and June Direct being confirmed again for real. Not the stupid rumors from like, oh, this guy says on Twitter that, oh, Switch 2 is coming out in this time and we'll probably see an announcement this time. No, it's actually confirmed to a extent by Nintendo, which is nice. And I am fascinated by the financial stuff from Nintendo. I like looking into that stuff, and it's just interesting to see what sells, how they're doing, you know. But before we end off the video, there is a bit of a sadder note, and that has to do with the Microsoft news, which came out around the same time actually today, a little bit later after the Nintendo stuff, but still. And that is the fact that Microsoft is going to close down many studios that are under it, including the Hi-Fi Rush studios, which is really, really disappointing to me. Like, it's just whiplash. Like, why you get these good announcements from Nintendo and then this horrible announcement from Microsoft, you know? And, like, it's weird to see also when Nintendo, you know, they do something like, oh, with the Luigi's Mansion, 2 and 3 people that made it, Next Level Games, they're like, oh, you guys did great work on the Luigi's Mansion games, let's bring you guys into our company, you know, and we can support you further. But Microsoft, on the other hand, is like, oh, you guys did really well for yourselves, good job on your games, highly acclaimed. Heck, even Hi-Fi Rush does went multi-platform for PS5, and there's rumors that a Switch version is coming out as well. But like, you see Microsoft saying, oh, good job guys, good job, we're gonna close you down now. What? Why would you close down a game that's highly acclaimed? Like, the Hi-Fi Rush sold pretty well. Like, it wasn't like a top 10 bestseller or anything, but it was, again, highly acclaimed, and it just barely went multi-platform. So why are you now canceling the studio or closing down the studio that made it in the first place? Like, what does that mean for, like, a Switch port if that is coming? What does Microsoft work on it? I think it means for sure that we won't see a Hi-Fi Rush 2. At least it won't feel the same way, you know, even though Microsoft still owns the IP. And that game is great, and it's just so disappointing, along with the other games and developers, which I didn't know that much about, but it's still disappointing to see Microsoft close down these studios for games that took a while to make, that were highly received, at least to some extent, and it just closed them down, and it just sucks, you know. It sucks for the layoffs for the gaming industry. You know, it's another case of the layoffs that's been going on over the past, like, year and a half or so, and it sucks. But I don't know, I hope Hi-Fi Rush does come out to Switch, and I hope somehow that there is a Hi-Fi Rush 2. I know most of the people that worked on Hi-Fi Rush were not part of the company anymore, but still, you know, like the studio was a big part of it, and if they bring back the same people, it may be the same Hi-Fi Rush sequel, but at the same time, I feel like something would be lost because the original studio didn't make it. But I don't know, what do I know? It's just disappointing stuff, really. And there were still some people that worked on the studio that did not leave, so it sucks for them. So anyway, that's sadly gonna have to be it for the video. Ending off on some sad news, which I don't like, but we got mostly good news, you know, today. I'm really happy with all the stuff, you know, besides the Microsoft stuff. That's really disappointing. I hate that. But what can you do, I guess? I just hope that they find jobs, that they continue to have work in other games, other companies, you know. But I don't know, but that's gonna be it for me, guys. Let me know what you think about all this news. It was fun to do this like news roundup type thing. I've done a few of them before, specifically for like YouTube Shorts, but I don't think I've ever done it for like really a video. So let me know what you think of this type of video, and also the news stories in general. Are you excited about the Switch 2 is officially confirmed, at least to, you know, on a basic level, Nintendo's financial stuff? Are you happy they're doing well? Or are you sad that Microsoft is an idiot for closing down Hi-Fi Rush Studio and like a bunch of other ones? So that's gonna be it for me, guys. Thank you, Nilis Edom, Davia Grace, Sparkly Brawler, and Scythe for becoming YouTube or Patreon members. Like, subscribe, play some Xenoblade, and I'll catch you guys next time for more. Peace. Bye, everyone.